San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Halftime.
Yes, sir. It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and on the go at sasportsstar.com. My name is Michael Jimenez, your host from 12 to 2, talking sports, pop culture, all things nostalgic, just things that pop into our heads. The show is produced by Edwin Hafner and James Pledger. My co-host today, though, is the one, the only, the talented Jason Minix, who's not across from me right now. What's going on, Jason?
I am across from you on the video form, but all right. So we started this last week, and so I've got to come to the studio once a week, which I committed to actually doing. And I was there earlier today, but I have a water leak in my heater, in my water heater. And so, you know, I called the good people at Quarter Moon Plumbing, and they're coming out around 2, so I have to be home. So I get to the station just to turn around and come back because I've got to deal with a plumbing issue at the house.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, man, they do a really good job. I've hired them 3 times this year because of my rental property and all the things that they've done. I've spent so much money, though. They've done well for me, okay? But, man, I got to claim them on my taxes next year because they've come to my house and my rental property a combined 3 times. But, man, they've done a really good job. Hey, welcome to the show.
As long as it wasn't for the same problem, then,
no.
You know, you're in good shape there. And I think that's the key, is having a plumber that you can rely on. And that is what I was dealing with this morning, which I'm glad I'm able to get Quarter Moon to come out. I'm in a new build house. Everything's under warranty.
Right.
So I first called the warranty company, and they're like, well, it's your water heater. Is your house flooding? No, but there's water leaking. Okay, well, we can come Friday. You know, I've got water leaking, right? And it's like, well, turn your water off and we'll be there Friday. Well, that doesn't help either. Can I call my own plumber? Will the warranty still cover it? They're like, yeah, everything but labor. Boom. 2:00.
There you go.
Let's get it fixed.
No, I had 3 issues, all separate. I had a rental property that got trashed, and I had to redo everything from the showers. So they came by for the showers one time. They came in to reinstall or install a new dishwasher. And then at my house, my primary residence, I had a leak in my faucet, and it created a big old puddle underneath my sink. So they had to come in and fix that. So they did a good job. So Quarter Moon does a really good job. Now, Jason mentioned that we're across from each other online right now. So we're on Facebook Live. We're also on YouTube. You can go on to YouTube or Facebook and search for San Antonio Sports Star. You can subscribe. You can listen. It will alert you as to when these shows starts. It'll alert you when Jason Minix's show, The Blitz, starts at 4 o'clock, or R&R in the morning at 7 a.m., Saturday Morning Hangover, Fantasy Gods, all our shows. It'll tell you when we're starting. You can listen on or you can watch. So very cool. We have a lot to get into today. The NBA's MVP had a rare feat yesterday, a triple-double ejection. Can't wait to get into that with you, Jason, because we were talking about that, and I'm going back and forth as to what I think should happen to Yokic after that. The Cowboys are going to try to get back on track this weekend against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to ask Jason a very important question. They can't lose 2 in a row, can they? We'll also get into whether or not that Jason Minix curse actually exists. And later on, around 1:15, Dejounte Murray has taken a leap. He's taken a big leap this year. I know the Spurs are 3-7 and have disappointed a lot of Spurs fans. But Dejounte's stats right now are so impressive that if he finished the season this way, he would be in the company of 2 NBA legends. So we'll get into that around 1:15. Again, this is halftime. We go until 2 o'clock. You know, Jason, I woke up this morning. Daylight savings continues to kick my butt.
Here we go. I mean, I think it's in the rule book that you have until Wednesday or Thursday to bitch about daylight savings. But at 12:04, it's sunny. At 6 o'clock, when it's pitch dark and I look out my kitchen window, that's when it's okay to complain.
Yeah. No, so, I mean, the thing is that I've never complained about it. Okay, I am 44 years old now.
I do. Every year I hate this time of year.
I never complained about it. But now I'm waking up like at 4:45 when I normally get up at 6. And I can't go back to sleep for that extra hour. I'm not getting that extra hour sleep. I'm losing sleep. And on top of that, this morning I woke up with my arm all sore because I got my booster shot yesterday. My cool COVID booster shot over at Wonderland Mall. Was quick, easy, but I got a little sore this morning.
I'm getting my booster shot tomorrow morning. I'm scheduled to get it tomorrow morning at 8:30. Please don't tell me any horror stories.
It's not a horror story, although there is one slight horror story. I got my daughter vaccinated. My daughter is 9 years old, right? So she got her first
Congratulations.
shot. Yeah. And she wasn't worried. She was being very brave about it. And there was these other kids that were getting their shots done. And when one started screaming because it got scared, they all started screaming. It was like pandemonium. They just, it was like it just spread like wildfire. All of a sudden the kids were all freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, if that kid had not screamed, everything would have been fine. So it got my daughter all worried. And then they gave her.
The part is that kid screaming is me. I hate getting shots. I hate getting shots. I'm scared to death of getting shots.
But the COVID shot is so thin, you don't even feel it. This is the thinnest shot I've ever had in my entire life. You know, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, I don't like needles. I don't like this, that, and the other." You can't even feel this one.
I know, and I did my first two like a champ. I only said a couple of bad words while she was jabbing me, and I was good with it. I had no side effects on the first two. I know I was lucky there, but I probably won't sleep tonight knowing that I'm going to face a needle in the morning.
So
I have an anxiety, and for good measure, a long time ago, very, very bad experience with the needle. They scare me to death. I'll still get the shots I have to, but I am a big baby when it comes to getting them.
See, I was wondering about this because I want to get my booster, and you said you got yours at Wonderland, so I can go back to where I got my initial ones and get my booster?
In and out in 10 minutes. It was in and out in 10 minutes. But I'm glad I got the booster for another reason, because I don't know if the second shot took. And I blame both of you guys because my second shot was on March 13th. That's my birthday. The night before, you guys took me out for my birthday.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like to take a shot when you're completely hungover, whether it actually took effect. So this might be number 2. Maybe I'll go back for a second booster after all this.
Well, I mean, there might have been a little alcohol mixed in because I remember that was the night we were leaving the Rue Pub. And you left about 20, 30 minutes before I did. And I walk out because I called the Uber from inside the bar when they said the Uber was there. I walk out and Jimenez is still outside on the curb and he's waiting for his Uber and complaining that his Uber is taking forever and shows me his phone. And I quickly realized this dude is on Google Maps, not on Uber.
Oh my God, you keep telling that story. That is so nonsense, man. That is so nonsense.
We put you into the Uber with us.
Wow.
And you crashed at my house.
Yep.
But you were out there for a good 30 minutes.
But I made it to my 11 o'clock appointment to get my second booster shot. That is the moral of the story, by the way. The second moral of the story is that I wasn't going to drink and drive.
That part is true.
That is true.
But you were getting very upset that it's taking forever, and it was your Google Maps.
Dude, I know how to run an Uber app, okay, or a Lyft app. I know how to do that. This is so blown out of proportion and nonsense. There was something going on there why I was on there for a different reason. I'll let you guys make fun of me off camera about that or off radio about that, but there was no on air. I will defend myself. And by the way,
I mean, honestly, did you have any intention of spending the night at my house?
No, I did not. But I mean, free hotel rooms don't.
I mean, it's one thing if you want to say that I'm embellishing a story, but my wife isn't going to lie about anything. She cracks up about it because you were trying to call Uber from your Google Maps.
I woke up in your guest bedroom, just looking around, and then I get up I start walking around your house, and it's clean, which is weird. Okay, I'm pretty tidy.
Yeah, I've got a clean house. Yes,
I'm pretty tidy, right?
Weirdo.
I could have taken out like a white glove and just like gone along the staircase or the counters. There would have been no dust on it. It was spotless in that house, which freaked me out. Okay, I was like, which cult does he belong to? Okay. And then I make my way over to your, I don't know if it's your man cave or it's your trophy room, but you have all this Dallas Cowboys gear and sports memorabilia and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, man, how much can I eBay all this for? But
not much, because it all says to Jason.
True. But I found my way back to the Rue Pub the following day, made my way over to Wonderland, got my second shot. Moral of the story is, kids, get your vaccinations and use Uber or Lyft. That's a good thing, right? Now,
it is.
Speaking of being a good driver, last time you were here, last week, we mentioned the fact that my wife wants to get a new vehicle because our leases are up, and the one that she wants is the 2022 Ford Bronco. So I know you posted something with April and Sarah the other day, so if she has a salesperson, reach out to me, please. I'm on Twitter at MikeESPNSA. Reach out to me because I'm really interested. We need to get this done by February. But when it comes down to it, I've always gone back and forth with my wife as to who is the better driver. And yesterday, I was given the gift of proof from a mechanic that my wife is a bad driver. And
now,
it made me so happy.
Hold on, time out. You know, you said you're waking up at 4:45 and you're unable to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
That's when you roll over and you give a little nudge to your wife. And if you're up, you might as well utilize the time.
That is true.
Right?
That is true.
If you go down this path you're about to go down, complaining about proof of bad driving, you'll wake up on the couch and the only thing you're going to nudge is your dog's ass, right? So, I mean, are you sure
Cody,
you want to go down this path?
Come here, Cody. Cody's my golden retriever. He's a cuddler.
I'm just saying, are you sure you want to go down this path where you claim to have proof that your wife is an awful driver?
I learned something yesterday, okay, because we took her SUV. She has a Toyota Highlander, right? We took it to Cavender Toyota over there on 410 near Bandera. And my wife was like, I can't figure out what's wrong with this car. Like it accelerates too fast, and then it deaccelerates too fast, and it's jerking back and forth. And they went and did test after test after test, and they held on to the car for about a week.
Wow.
Finally, they came back and they said, we had our master technicians on it, our master this, that, and the other. And they said, what we think is going on is that there's nothing wrong with the car. It's that there's a computer system inside the car responding to the transmission. And basically what's going on is it's trying to anticipate what the driver's doing because the computer has learned over the past couple of years a driving pattern, which is fast acceleration, slamming on the brakes, which is my wife going to University Hospital in the mornings and weaving through traffic because I take my time when I drive. She doesn't. So I told her, I said, look, basically it's saying that you drive like a weirdo during the mornings and at night you're not. You're being a regular person. And because of that, the truck is jerking around because it's trying to anticipate what you're doing.
If that is true, and that's just not the Toyota play saying we have no idea, let's blame the driver. If the computer is telling you that it learns the driver and so it anticipates, how long has she had the car?
About 2 or 3 years.
By now, doesn't that computer realize in the morning she needs coffee and in the afternoon she's fine? Shouldn't it adjust? I mean,
transmissions don't get memos about daylight savings. So I don't know.
The computer's smart. If it's doing this in the morning and this in the afternoon, doesn't it just automatically adjust on its own?
Well, here's the thing, though. I think I would like to address the court on this one here. We have auto insurance through Allstate, and Allstate requires us to, in order to get like certain rates, to have that sensor in. She hates the sensor because it counts how many hard brakes there are if you're driving over a certain speed limit.
And all that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna pull that up. I'm gonna get on the app and I'm gonna pull out all that information.
I hope you got a comfortable couch because in reality, all you are saying is that your wife is a bad driver who is about to be a bad driver in a brand new Bronco.
She will
get nothing that you're saying, according to Judge Judy, warrants enough to not get her the car that she wants.
I love my wife. She will get a car. She's going to get it. She's going to get it. I've already given up that that whole debate. And in fact, I want her to have that vehicle. She's a wonderful wife, but we always badger each other about our driving because I drive slowly. I kind of take my time. I even walk slow. She walks fast. I'm a slow walker. She drives fast. I'm a slow driver. We always get on each other about who's better or not. But I have a microphone and she doesn't. So
well, but when you say that, when was the last time she had a car accident?
It's been a long time since knocking on wood, either of us.
When was the last time she had a ticket? Oh,
that's a funny story because we got a ticket. We got busted by the same cop within 5 minutes of each other on the same street. We were having a family dinner at my sister's house, and I get there and I'm like all pissed off. Like, how do I tell her I got a speeding ticket? And I walk in the door and she's like, I got a speeding ticket. I was like, where? She goes, off of Wiseman Road. I was like, I just got one there too. 15 minutes apart. Busted her, busted me, both for speeding. Weird thing though, she was going faster than me, but I had to pay more in the fine.
What?
Yeah, and we went together because we had the same court date because we got busted on the same day. And the judge gave her a lighter fine. And we're married. We were right next to each other. Absolutely funny.
Well, you could have taken team defensive driving and not even had to worry about it.
Rudolph Renee on Facebook Live says MJ drives like Pokey McPokerson. Yes, I'm a slow driver. I admit it. I take my time. There are studies there that say that people who take their time are happier people because those who are rushing all over the place, they get flustered when things don't go their way. I mean, the other day we were driving and I got 4 red lights in a row. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. Do you know what my reaction to that was?
You weren't going fast enough.
It's a red light. Just is what it is. I get to listen to the radio.
True, but if you can get a series of green lights, or if you're at the one red, you should be able to then make all the next ones if you're doing it right. See, if you want to be happy, set in your GPS, your ETA, and you beat that by 2 minutes. That makes you happy. I mean, that really is what it's all about. If you have a red light, I mean, you're right. If you're not in a hurry to go anywhere, it is what it is. Driving is what it is. But the slow guy, as long as you're not that slow guy in the left lane with your blinker on, I won't be mad at you. Stay in the right lane. Stay out of my lane.
I'm like what that manager on Bull Durham says. You lollygag in the infield. You lollygag in the outfield. I lollygag when I drive. I take my time. I listen to my music. I listen to sports talk radio. I listen to all sorts of things and enjoy the day, man. As long as I get there in one piece, I don't get into an accident, don't get a ticket. But it's been a while. My wife and I haven't had an accident or ticket, knock on wood, knocking on it now, in a long, long time. So good times. Hey, you know what wasn't good times? Chicago Bear fans didn't have good times. And I feel really bad for those who cheer for the Chicago Bears because that Monday Night Football game last night was boring up until the fourth quarter where it got really dramatic, got very controversial. So if you didn't watch it, the Steelers took a big lead early on, or up by a couple of touchdowns, and the Bears kind of clawed their way back in the fourth quarter to the point where the Bears took the lead with a few minutes to go, and it appeared as though they stopped the Steelers and were going to go on and win this game. So Rudy J, I know you're a fan of the Chicago Bears, and I know you're listening right now. This headline's for you. Here's James Pledger with the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Chicago Bears linebacker Cassius Marsh, who was flagged for taunting on a crucial third down stop late in the Bears' 29-27 loss, says he was hit checked by the ref before being hit with the taunting penalty. This is what Cassius Marsh had to say about the flag and the hip check.
I think it's pretty clear to everybody who saw it that I wasn't taunting. And, I've been doing the celebration my whole career. And, it's just sad to see stuff like that happen in a close game like that. It's just rough, man. I don't want to say too much because y'all know how it is. But the one thing that I will say is, on my way to the sideline, I got hip checked by the ref, and it's pretty clear. if I were to do that to a ref or even touch the ref, you know, we get kicked out of the game and possibly suspended and fined. So I just think that was incredibly inappropriate. And that's all I'll say about that.
A, do you guys think he was actually taunting? B, did the ref actually hip check him, and does he have a point on that?
You know, watching it live, I see the Cobra Kai kick, and he's celebrating with his teammates, and then they all leave. And then he is saying something over to the Steelers bench. And if the ref would have thrown the flag then, while I hate the rule, I would have understood that was taunting. But it wasn't until he turned and started to run, and that crap referee gave him the hip check and then threw the flag. So I thought the flag was actually for touching the referee, but I thought it was the referee that initiated contact. I think Tony Corinthy is one of the worst referees. He grades out as one of the worst referees week in and week out. And that was Bush League. I don't care who you're a fan of. That was, I mean, officiating has been bad all season. And every team has a right to complain about officiating and certain calls that go against their team. But last night, if you're a Bears fan, I'm with you. That was awful.
That was confusing because the drive kept going. Steelers got the go-ahead field goal with about 26 seconds to go. The Bears had one last chance at a field goal, 65-yarder that didn't make it. Wasn't even close. But as for that play with Marsh, I was confused as to, like you said, where was this penalty? Why did you call it so late? He did taunt. He did, as you have called it, a Cobra Kai kick. It was dramatic. He did do all that. He was taunting. It was something that should have been penalized. But the whole thing that happened with the referee at the end, that was all the official right there. The official tried backing into it. The official tried to create the contact like it was an NBA game. I think they're both wrong, but the fact of the matter is it was the right call. The taunting was legit.
Well, if that's when the ref actually called it, because it didn't throw the flag until after the contact was made with the official, the hip check. And who knows if Corinthy did that on purpose or whatever, and I'm sure he will never tell the truth about the whole thing. But I'm tired of the taunting stuff in a very physical, emotional game. And I heard some of the guys on Get Up talking about this morning. There are certain things that you see that you know is taunting, and that's not allowed. Yelling by yourself at a bench area, unless something was said that the referee heard and words were used that you're not allowed to. But with what I saw, I hate that. But why is that taunting? But if you get a fumble recovery or an interception, the whole team can run down to the end zone and pretend they're taking pictures for Instagram, right? How is that not taunting? So it's that balance of they went from like the no fun league, you know, remember the fun bunch in the end zone, and those celebrations were wiped away.
The orange crush.
But you could do this now. But the Cobra Kai kick is okay, but if you look over the bench area, that's not.
I'm okay with all of it. Okay, first and foremost, I want to see that. I want to see CeeDee Lamb say goodbye to the defender and score the touchdown and not get fined. Okay,
I thought
want
he was
that.
Being polite. Have a good night. Good game, buddy. Good game.
But the thing is that they know how it's going to be called. So that's where that player is in the wrong. I mean, he was called up. Think about it. He was called up from the practice squad playing this game on Monday Night Football with probably the biggest play of the game, and then it all got taken away 30 seconds later.
To me, I look at it like bat flips in Major League Baseball. It's all for our entertainment. Stop fining these guys.
Well, and the other part, that Cobra Kai kick,
was amazing.
You're going to pull a hamstring, dude, and end up on IR. Don't do that. You'll be like that kicker that did some sort of jump and came down and shredded his knee.
Martin Gramatica.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Don't do the Cobra Kai kick. I thought that was more offensive than him looking. But the fact that all his other teammates had already celebrated and left and he's still over there jawing, I understood if the ref would have thrown the flag then.
Yeah.
But he didn't throw the flag until after he made contact with him. So that's, at first I thought, really, you're going to call them for that? And you initiated contact.
Headline 1.
Next, Nuggets star Nicola Yokic could be facing a suspension from the NBA after the league MVP was ejected last night with 2 minutes, 39 seconds left in the fourth quarter against the Miami Heat for aggressively blindsiding power forward Markieff Morris from behind in retaliation to a hard foul earlier. Morris was assessed a flagrant foul too, and Yokic was ejected before the Nuggets took a 113-96 win over Miami. Jokic's retaliation from behind will certainly be reviewed by the NBA, which could levy a suspension and fine.
That was insane. For those of you who haven't watched this, go on YouTube and search Jokic getting ejected. So basically, Morris goes up to him and hip checks him at midcourt. I don't know if I would call
it hip checks.
I don't know if I would call it a fast break, but they were moving with numbers, 4-on-3 or whatever it was. At midcourt, Morris goes over and hip checks him, kind of gets him on the top of his body, and it was hard. And it was uncalled for, and it should have been a flagrant foul. Not the type of flagrant that gets you ejected, but the one that gets you, a free throw and the ball back. Morris walks away, takes about 3 or 4 steps, and Jokic just throws a haymaker at him and just pushes him, okay? It wasn't a punch that he threw,
but
hit
from
the
behind the back of the jersey.
Yeah, hit him from the back. At all 287 pounds of Jokic was thrown at him.
Yeah.
That's going to be a suspension right there. At least 2 games. At least 2 games.
Yep.
And I understand why he was upset, but Morris, I mean, yes, Morris had a flagrant foul. That was
an
a
agitator.
That was a hard foul. But the foul that Morris did was not dangerous. It wasn't going to break any bones. It wasn't going to do anything like that. It was all upper body. It was
hit
a
a man
hip
from
check.
behind and knock him down. I mean, that's chicken bleed.
No. I'm saying Morris's hit to Jokic what wasn't dangerous. It was hard. It was stupid. It was flagrant, but it wasn't dangerous. What Jokic did was.
Yeah, that I agree with. I thought you were talking about Jokic not being dangerous.
Now, the brothers, though, apparently the Morris brothers and the Jokic brothers have started a beef on Twitter. What's that all about, Pledge?
I don't know. Let's just get him on the next Jake Paul fight card.
Well, dude, I saw an Instagram video of the Jokic brothers from like weeks ago and last season cheering from the 3rd or 4th row. Those guys are huge. They are just as big, if not bigger, than their NBA MVP brother.
Yeah, and I if I'm Morris, I'm a little concerned for my safety because there could be something coming after you. But you bring up Jake Paul, Pledge. The next Jake Paul fight card against Tommy Fleury on December 18th has some company.
Yep.
Because 3-time NBA All-Star Darren Williams is going to fight longtime NFL running back Frank Gore.
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
I'll take Gore. Gore in 3.
Just incredible what they're putting on these fight cards now.
Headline 0.
Damon Arnett, the Las Vegas Raiders' first-round pick from 2020, has been waived by the Oakland Raiders after video surfaced of him making death threats while brandishing firearms in what looked to be an Instagram video. The 25-year-old's been on the injured reserve since October 9th and is also facing lawsuits stemming from a Las Vegas car accident last October. Raiders general manager Mike Mayock said in a conference call, quote, "Very painful decision. We spent significant time, effort, and resources trying to help him in all aspects of his life," end quote. Will Arnett be signed this year by another team? And between Gruden, Ruggs, and now Arnett, can the Raiders recover? Or are they about to implode as the AFC West becomes wide open?
Yeah, I see the implosion happening. I can see getting around one issue, like what happened to Gruden, and saying, okay, we're gonna band together for this. But you add Ruggs, you add this guy, and the fact of the matter is that it's just too much water to take on. I think that there's a culture problem within the Raiders. It's probably a good thing for it all to come out at one time. But that's a good team, man. That's a solid team, but I don't see them going very far this year.
Well, and you look at their upcoming schedule. I mean, they're coming off of a loss to the New York Giants, right?
Happens to the best of us, man. Happens to the Saints.
And then
happened to the Cowboys.
And then not this year. Then they've got Kansas City, Cincinnati, Dallas, football team, Kansas City, Cleveland, Denver, the Colts, and Chargers.
Wow.
I mean that's a tough schedule. Now, it will be interesting to see if they actually put a claim in for OBJ today. Now, a lot of people think and speculate that he'll clear waivers and probably end up with Tampa Bay because, or Seattle somewhere, in that West Division. But if you're the Raiders and you just lost Ruggs, and I don't want to sound too insensitive, but the reality is you've got to replace that wide receiver. Can you afford $7 million under the cap and take on that cap hit, or let them clear waivers and hope to sign them? But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But Raiders are in trouble, that's for sure.
That's the 411 and a 210.
I was reading last night ESPN's power rankings, and there was something there that really caught my eye. It disturbed me in a way, in a positive way, because the Spurs are 3-7. They're not having a good year. Some players are doing okay, but there was a stat that they showed how well Dejounte Murray is doing this year. So well that at 115, when we talk about this, he is in a rarefied air to the point where he is being compared to two NBA legends. We'll talk about Dejounte Murray at 115. But when we come back, Cowboys, baby, with us talk Cowboys, is it possible, any way possible, that the Cowboys lose back-to-back games, knowing that the Falcons are coming into Dallas? This is halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em. Online at sasportstar.com. Can you pick the perfect matchups all season long? If so, you could win $50,000. Weekly winners score gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue in the Mellow Mushroom. For official contest rules and to play, visit sasportstar.com. Must be at least 21 years old to play this nationwide contest. One winner will be selected at the end of the season. The Pro Football Challenge from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. Schedule one of their whole home specialists to come out to your house for a free water analysis. And right now, Alamo Water Softeners is offering 0% financing for 2 years with approved credit. Take advantage of this same as cash offer on a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Company vehicles cause serious and deadly accidents on our roadways every year. An accident with a company car, truck, SUV, van, or fleet vehicle is not just another car accident. If you were injured in a company vehicle accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Joel, I love the hunting season.
What's with the outfit, Nigel?
Oh, yes. This is my hunting attire, complete with my bright red jacket, hunting horn. I am the master of the foxhounds.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. I love the tradition of hunting as the hounds chase the fox.
Whoa, Nigel. Hunting is a little different here in Texas.
And like hunting, plumbing, heating, and air conditioner repairs are all about preparation, skill, and having the right equipment.
That's true. And all our quarter moon technicians with a fleet of fully stocked trucks know what to do when plumbing, heat, and AC issues pop up out of nowhere. Nigel, where'd you go?
Joel, can you give me a hand? I can't get my horse down from the deer blind.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. From the outhouse to the penthouse, calls day or night, 651-5899.
License number M13229, TACLA 000743445E.
Tally ho!
I'm Dr. Torres with the Institute for Functional Health, San Antonio's original holistic health clinic. Holistic does not mean complementary or alternative. It means we look at the whole picture. We change thousands of lives, and your overall health is our passion.
I no longer have to take sleeping pills, no blood pressure medication, or cholesterol pills. My insurance changed from high risk to standard.
I take 0 medications and said goodbye to sinus infections. I finally feel normal.
I no longer have anxiety attacks and have stopped taking pre-diabetic medication and sleeping pills.
I've lost 30 pounds, have more energy than ever before, have no pain,
and my labs are perfect. When things seem out of control, the one thing that we can control is your health. You will have a customized doctor-supervised wellness plan that gets to the root of the problem instead of masking symptoms. You get results, not refills. At the Institute for Functional Health, your overall health is our passion. Call 210-468-1891 for your free consultation. 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Running a small business means just that, always running.
Ooh, you're not kidding.
Which is why this holiday, while the other guys, not mentioning any names, are kicking it back, we'll be kicking it into gear by leaving our doors open for you. So whatever the ing you need this holiday, whether it's packing, shipping, or mailboxing, we'll be right here waiting.
Now that's an ing worth celebrating.
The UPS Store, every ink for small business, all in one place.
The UPS Store.
The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
Happy Hour is back at Twin Peaks. Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 p.m. Score sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, cheap shots, and freezing cold 29-degree draft brews. With select apps available for $2, $4, and $6. Twin Peaks Happy Hour is the move.
The annual San Antonio Auto and Truck Show is November 12th through the 14th. See new cars and trucks, extraordinary exotics, and learn about the latest in energy efficiency. Take part in exclusive ride-and drives, all new experiences, kids' activities, and the food truck fiesta. Don't miss it.
Take a break from the hustle. This is Halftime with Rob Thompson and Carl Schoening on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Want a chance to win Cowboys tickets to every home game this season? It's simple. Go to sasportstar.com and register to win. Win tickets to every home game on your home for the Dallas Cowboys. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Welcome back to Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star. We go till 2 o'clock. My name's Michael Jimenez, joined by Jason Minix. Jason, Cowboys are back in action this week on Sunday at noon. In Big D, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I can't figure out whether or not this Falcons team is good or not. They come in at 4-4. They've won 3 of the last 4 games. They are showing signs of life. They beat a good New Orleans Saints defense. Saints were playing with a third-string quarterback. I get that, but it's still a good defense and put up 27 points on them. What do you take out of this Falcons team? Do you think they're any good at all? I mean, we know. I mean, they're coming in with basically the same record the Broncos had coming into Dallas.
I mean, but and the Broncos weren't a good football team. I mean, and going into the Bronco game, I said, yeah, they started 3-0, playing teams that were combined 0-9. And I look at the Falcons have a 17-14 win over the Giants. They beat the Jets by a touchdown. They beat the Dolphins by 2, and then they beat the Saints by 2. So, I mean, the one thing about the Atlanta Falcons, outside of their 32-6 season opening loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, and we all thought, oh, well, maybe Philly is good, they're able to score points, but their defense isn't very good, right? And the Cowboys' defense is suspect, and I do think the Denver Broncos did show some weaknesses on the Cowboys' defense, that if the Cowboys don't get takeaways, if they don't get the interceptions or the fumble recoveries, they're not going to get a lot of stops. They weren't good against the run at all against the Denver Broncos, and they really haven't been good against the run all year, with the exception of the Minnesota game. Against the Vikings, they played extremely well against Dalvin Cook in the run, and they held Kirk Cousins in check in the passing game. That was by far the best defensive game that the Cowboys have played this year. And you look at the matchup with Pitts and who's going to draw that assignment. It's still Matty Ice. He's still certainly capable. It's weird because I thought Denver would be an easy win and they got their butts kicked.
Mm-hmm.
I think Atlanta would be tougher than Denver, but still what should be a win for the Cowboys. But it comes down to the Falcons have given up 32, 48, 34, 28, 19 to Carolina. I mean, you look at this Cowboys offense is designed to score, and the Cowboys defense is really built to play with your offense having the lead. And you saw against the Denver Broncos, if the Cowboys offense struggles and the defense gets as many snaps as they got Sunday against the Broncos, they're in trouble.
Taking a look at that defense, you mentioned that they were really playing ahead of themselves because they were getting so many takeaways the first 6-7 games of the season, right? This is what the Cowboys are without the takeaways. I think that's the scary thing for Cowboy fan anyway. But if there's anything that they can look forward to, Cowboys fans could look forward to, is that, yeah, the defense, the rushing defense of the Cowboys is not that great, but the rushing game of the Falcons is worse. Last week, 25 carries for 34 yards. That is what they did against the Saints. 25 carries for 34 yards. And I don't care how good the Saints defense is. It is a very good defense. But averaging 1.4 yards isn't going to get the job done. So I think the Cowboys are going to benefit from that. Maybe be able to only play 4 up front and basically send 2 on Pitts. Cordell Patterson is someone they have to keep an eye on as well.
Well, and again, I think the secondary with, Diggs, and Diggs is a risk-reward guy. He's going to take some risks. He plays aggressive. He's got to get that in check and not get the penalties. But he's going to go for interceptions. But sometimes when you gamble and lose, you're going to give up the big play. So, Patterson is obviously concerned. Pitts has been a concern and should be a concern, but hasn't had the rookie year I think so many people thought he was going to have. But against that good Saints defense, Matt Ryan still threw for damn near 350 yards, and he's still there. The Cowboys have to be able to get pressure on Matt Ryan. And with Matt Ryan, he's going to stay in the pocket for the most part. So if Randy Gregory can get some pressure, if 97 OC blah blah can get in there and get some pressure, maybe Micah Parsons on a blitz, they'll have the opportunity. But this is more to me about the Cowboys offense finding a rhythm. Will they get Michael Gallup back, and how long will it take Michael Gallup to have an impact on the offense? Because Cedric Wilson has played so well. Take the Denver game out. Cedric Wilson has been incredible this year. But for me, it's about the Cowboys offense. And another week without Tyron Smith, can Terrence Steele play as well at left tackle as he did at right tackle for the 5 games without Collins? And, the offensive line, it starts there. And, you think about Zach Martin is considered the best player on this Cowboys team, right? And without Zach Martin in the opener against Tampa Bay, the Cowboys lose. They beat a good Minnesota team without Dak Prescott, and then they lose to a bad Denver team without Tyron Smith. And where I'm connecting dots going, the importance of Tyron Smith and Zach Martin in that offensive line is everything for the Cowboys offense. Dak looked rusty, but he also looked uncomfortable because he didn't have the protection that he's used to having.
Is Zeke injured still? Is he going to be banged up for this game?
He banged up his knee against Denver and they rested him. We won't really know until Wednesday or Thursday when they get back to practice and see where he's at on the practice report. And we really might not know until Saturday or even Sunday at game time, because he could show up and be limited in practice. But, in a traditional year, we're at the midway point, right? With this 17-game schedule, I don't know what we consider midway. Is it 8 games or is it 9 games? It used to be really easy math, right? But, this time of year, banged up knee, Zeke, sit down. It's kind of like preseason reps. We don't need to see you. We know what you can do. And we know what Pollard can do. But that offensive line has to open up the holes. And that left side with Terrence Steele and Connor Williams was not near as effective against the Denver Broncos as the team had been leading up to that game. And I think that underscores the importance of Tyron Smith, even with all the injuries that he's had.
I understand the offensive line is of utmost importance for the Cowboys. Having 2 injured or 2 hurt really impacts what they can do offensively, but that can't be the total excuse. They went 3.5 quarters without a point. The Denver Broncos on the other side of the field had 3 offensive linemen out. Okay. At some point in the game, they had 2 out and the third one got hurt during the game, and they still managed to get points. So what else is going wrong for the Cowboys in that game that they need to fix by Sunday morning?
A couple of things that just being at the game, the lack of energy. Because I was at AT&T Stadium on Sunday for the Cowboys Broncos. There was not a lot of Cowboy energy on the sideline. You could see that. It kind of felt like, to steal the lines from Jeff Traylor at UTSA, the Cowboys ate all the cheese all week. And they came out flat. They went for it on 4th down early. They didn't make it. And sometimes when I see Mike McCarthy, who I know is into the analytics and the numbers say you should be able to pick up a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 2 with your team against that defense, especially after the big kickoff return from Tony Pollard. They didn't get it. But I do think Mike McCarthy went for it a couple times early, just trying to find some juice for his football team. And when they didn't get it, it goes the opposite way. I mean, and I do think there's a belief that, the week before with Cooper Rush at quarterback, they had 3 points at halftime and then ended up with a convincing win over the Minnesota Vikings. You just kind of feel like at any point that Cowboys offense will get a big play, and that will lead to another big play, and that will lead to another big play. Instead, Amari Cooper on a 3rd down has his first drop of the season on what was a perfect pass. On 4th down, you have a scramble drill because the offensive line didn't hold up, and Dak ends up sailing one way downfield to CeeDee Lamb, hoping he could catch up to it. That pass wasn't even close, and a lot of Dak's passes were just off target. I don't know if it was from the time off or a combination of the time off and the lack of protection, so he felt rushed. But then it did feel like the Cowboys' offense was pressing. They weren't playing their style. They were pressing. They were trying to find a 30-point touchdown, which doesn't exist.
Now, this game against the Falcons on Sunday at noon could be the easiest game that the Cowboys have on their calendar for the next month and a half. Upcoming games, and I know we talked about this before the show, and you were not impressed, but still, here's who they play after. They've got the Chiefs, all right? Still Patrick Mahomes. It's on the road in Kansas City. They've got the Raiders at home, on the road against the Saints.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's go back. The Chiefs just barely beat Jordan Love 13-7. They are still scary, but they're not as scary as we thought they were going to be coming into this season.
Still on the road.
That's going to be an easy win. It's still on the road.
Okay, give me a won or loss, up or down. Okay, Cowboys against the Chiefs. Do you think they're going to take them out?
You know what? I penciled that as a loss in August. I don't know that I would change that, but in reality, I would put that more as a 50-50 game.
Thanksgiving, short week, home against the Raiders.
Raiders, as we talked about a few minutes ago, they're spiraling out of control. Again, that game I thought was going to be kind of scary, not so much anymore.
Then they're on the road in New Orleans against the Saints. By then, I'm assuming Taysom Hill would be the quarterback.
Defense is still good, but again, not as scary as we thought this was. I mean, we looked at that 3-game stretch as a total gauntlet at the beginning of the year.
Sure did. The next 3 games after that are division games.
And if the Cowboys are the Super Bowl contender we think they are right now, then those 3 games all should be wins or very winnable games for the Cowboys. I don't expect this team to go, 13-4 or whatever. I mean, there's going to be some losses in there. There's going to be some clunkers like what you saw against Denver. But where that looked like it could be a 3-game losing streak now does not look like a 3-game losing streak.
I agree with you on that. Now, 4 of the last 5 games are against division opponents. Those should all be wins, but they're going to be tough wins because whenever you're playing, whether it's the Washington football team or the Giants or the Eagles, something crazy always happens. And then mixed in there's that home game against the Arizona Cardinals, which is going to be a very fun game. Could be deciding a 1, 2, or 3 seed in the NFC when it's all said and done.
I mean, the reality, that game January 2nd at AT&T Stadium right now is listed as a noon start. Somehow I have a feeling that might get flexed into some sort of prime location because that could be a preview of the NFC Championship game. It's Kyler Murray's homecoming, coming back into the building. Cliff Kingsbury, who, if you were to take a vote right now, would probably win NFL Coach of the Year. Think about that for a minute.
And he got fired from Texas Tech.
And, well, he did, and he had that great Ted Lasso line, which should get him Coach of the Year. The Cowboys are not going to go 0-2 against football teams, says Patello Franklin. That isn't going to happen. But keep dreaming, dude. But when they might split with Washington. The last game against the Eagles, Cowboys are going to have the NFC East wrapped up at that point. I mean, that says Cooper Rush all over it. If they don't get the first round bye, the Cowboys will take a bye on January 9th against the Eagles.
Well, Cowboys play again on Sunday at noon against the Atlanta Falcons, who, by the way, if the season ended right now, would be a playoff team. They're clinging on to the 7th spot in the NFC. Again, Cowboys favored by 9. When we come back, we're going to give an update on Rock the Mic, some of the events that are going to be coming up. And at 1 o'clock, 2 topics I want to talk about here. UTSA football, will they finally be ranked by the College Football Committee? That's coming up tonight. And then also Dejounte Murray, an interesting stat that was floating around ESPN last night that compares him to 2 NBA greats. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and on the go at sasportstar.com.
The Dallas Cowboys, the Atlanta Falcons. This one will be a pad pounder. Get the call live Sunday at noon. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
The Dallas Mavericks had easy pickings last night as they hosted and defeated the last-place New Orleans Pelicans 108-92. Luka Doncic had a game-high 25 points with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. University of Texas football had wide receiver Joshua Moore leave the program for the transfer portal yesterday. Moore had appeared in all 9 games this season with 5 starts. Moore finishes his season with 24 catches for 265 yards and 3 touchdowns. And UTSA basketball is back tonight with a doubleheader at the historic Convocation Center. The women's team tips off against Stephen F. Austin at 5, and the men host Trinity following that game, scheduled for 7:30. Sports Center has been brought to you by Alamo Water Softeners. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
For over 2 centuries, Jim Beam has been bringing people together. Now you can bring them wherever you go with friends and family. Introducing Jim Beam Highballs to go, refreshing and ready for sharing. Their classic highball and Beam and Ginger Highball are made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. They're a new take on a tradition, 7 generations in the making. Find Jim Beam Highballs to go at a store near you. Jim Beam Classic Highball made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, natural flavors, and seltzer water. 5% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2020, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Meal Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Meal Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Rock the Mic is back at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. You know we've narrowed it down to our top 13. You've been voting online at sasportstar.com, and they're ready to show you what they've got. Join us at Slackers this week to help us decide on a winner, and you can enter to win Dallas Cowboys home game tickets. Wednesday, November 10th, we'll be at the Slackers New St. Mary's location, and on Thursday, we'll be at the Slackers Medical Center location. Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you by Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, and in part by Jim Beam.
Get the latest scores and more from high school football online anytime at 210varsity.com. Sponsored by the San Antonio Express News, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, it's Greeny, and I've only got 10 seconds, so here's my plug. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Upload a photo of what's on your grill and enter it, description and recipe, and you can win a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Winner is chosen every Thursday at 6 on the Blitz. And speaking of the Blitz, the host, Jason Minix, is joining me, Michael Jimenez, right now on halftime here on San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, Jason, we have some Rock the Mic events coming up. From what I understand, voting has ended.
Voting has not ended.
Ooh.
Go to sasportstar.com now and get your votes in. I believe voting ends at midnight tonight.
My bad.
Then tomorrow, we are going to be live out at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, their new location down on St. Mary's. And then on Thursday, we're going to be at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location, where the top vote getters are going to have an opportunity to come on the air with me. We'll have some fun, and we'll make some decisions. And then the following Thursday, we'll be back out at Slackers, the North Star location, where we will crown a champion. And you know what the gauntlet is like, Michael Jimenez, as a recent Rock the Mic champion. What were you, 4?
Yes, Rock the Mic 4, Quattro. I remember you were throwing me curveball after curveball after curveball when it was one-on-one, me and you on air, and it freaked me out.
Well, if you want to know who's going to be in the top 4, you can go look at the votes.
Exactly.
And you know, and that's the beauty. We do have the Jim Beam wild card. So, you know, we have that ability because, quite frankly, and this is why we do it, of those that came on the air with me last week out at Slackers, a couple of the ones I would put on my list don't have the votes to get in. And if you don't have the votes to get in, man, we can't help you.
You gotta want it. You gotta want
it. It's all about going out and getting the votes.
Now, not only are we going to crown a champion, we're going to crown a Papa Shot champion, apparently. I brought this up. Rob Thompson, Jason Minix, myself, Rudy J, Pledger, Carl, we're all going to compete against each other in Papa Shot to crown the true champion. Well, I'm more excited about this than fantasy football within the station.
Well, and I mean, is there going to be money on it? I mean, because here's the thing. You put something up on Twitter and didn't even include me, knowing damn well I'd kick your butt and pop a shot.
Dude, I'm going to beat you underhanded, dude.
Put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is.
Jim Beam shot. That's what I'm talking about right there. Hey, we have another hour left of halftime here on San Antonio Sports Star, as James Pledger shows me that he kicked my butt in fantasy football this week. Thank you so much for bringing that to my face. Yes,
we've got to talk about the league in a minute. We'll do
my
that
team
after the
is
break.
decimated, but when we come back, UTSA football, will they get snubbed again? And at 1:15, we'll be talking about Dejounte Murray and that big leap he's taken, and the historic run he's going on right now. This is halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Rock the Mic moves into the voting phase. 12 finalists, live auditions, and only one 2021 Rock the Mic winner.
Hi, this is Carolina Teague, the Rock the Mic 2 winner.
Vote for your favorite Rock the Mic champ now at sasportstar.com. And join us for the live auditions from Slacker Sports Bar throughout November. Only one will be crowned the 2021 Rock the Mic champion. Presented by Slacker Sports Bar and in part by Jim B. Rock the Mic on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
1911 Cigars is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas, providing quality, affordable cigars in a professional, inviting environment with a large covered patio with TVs. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the avid cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. 1911 Cigars at 207 South Main Street in Cibolo. Online at 1911cigars.com.
Hi, everyone. Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats here. When you bring a package of our smoked sausage home, keep it simple. It's handcrafted in small batches and fully cooked, so you can just heat it up and enjoy. My favorite way to eat it is on a bun with mustard or wrapped in a tortilla. Try some from a store near you today, and if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Guaranteed. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Ooh, let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's not magic that will deliver 1 billion packages to homes across the country this holiday. It's the United States Postal Service. And we don't need a team of reindeer to do it because we've added more vehicles to our fleet. And while we don't come down your chimney, we can pick up presents for you and yours. So if making more holiday deliveries to homes in the U.S. than anyone else seems like magic, that means we're doing our job. Share the magic at USPS.com/helpers.
Lowe's Provember event is back. In celebration of pros, we're offering special values on top tools to get any job done right. Head into Lowe's and check out the largest selection of DeWalt power tools and accessories. Right now, you can get a guaranteed tough DeWalt 20-volt max bare tool free when you buy a DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kit. Shop in-store or order online. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Valid through 1/5 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
Go to Total Wine, you'll save more. So many wines and spirits galore. Down through the aisles with corks to pop. Ask for friendly advice while you shop. Oh, so much to explore. Oh, so many to pour. Holiday cheers, clink, clink, clink. Get everyone their favorite drink.
Now offering delivery in select markets. See details at TotalWine.com/deliver. Drink responsibly, B21.
The Marion Brighton Holiday Auction and Raffle is here again for the holidays. Shop for your holiday gifts and buy raffle tickets to win big now through December 12th. The raffle grand prize is your choice of a 2022 Chevy Silverado or Ram 1500 truck from Ancira. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center and the children in our community. Go to BrightonSA.org to purchase and see official rules for complete details. That's BrightonSA.org.
Tune in to The Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it'll affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online at TSAOG.com.
The annual San Antonio Auto and Truck Show is November 12th through the 14th. We're partnering with some of SA's favorite pet organizations for the Subaru Loves Pets initiative. With on-site pet adoptions, you can see new cars and trucks and take home a furry friend that just might like to ride in one. Get your tickets now.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Halftime.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. My name's Michael Jimenez, joined by Jason Minix. Jason, I'm going to go ahead and let you do this, man. I know you want to make fun of my fantasy football team. I know you do. I'm just going to get it out of the way so I can enjoy the rest of the hour. Minix, the floor is yours.
I have nothing to say about your fantasy team. I mean, what could I really say to the guy who proclaims to be a fantasy god when my team is 1-8? My team is awful. I've got more guys on IR than I have roster spots available. And again, there's no money in this league. I am in second place behind Rob Thompson in our money league. If there was money in this, I might have made it more serious. What I'm upset about our fantasy team, and we do it on ESPN, I officially changed my name several weeks ago to Team Bye Week. Because my team is that bad, led by quarterback Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
By the way, my draft grade was a B+, and my team is awful. Part of that is injuries. So last week, I tried to change the name of my fantasy team to Pole Assassin.
Okay. Don't get the reference.
Well, have you been under a rock? I mean, dude, you host a sports talk show in San Antonio, Texas. You do not know about the Texas Longhorns assistant coach who has a stripper girlfriend, a famous stripper girlfriend that goes by the name of Pole Assassin. And I mean, she's famous. She's like been on Jerry Springer and everything, but she goes by the name of Pole Assassin, and she has a pet monkey that bit a kid on Halloween night. You totally missed this story?
I completely missed it, man. Maybe the filters on the internet over here would not allow me to read it. You know, I'm on the Alpha Media server here, so no, I did not read that. But I will be more than happy to later today.
I mean, just Google the story. I mean, you know, now granted, this assistant coach had the stripper girlfriend that he left his wife and kids for years ago when he was at A&M and he was at Alabama. And now, you know, he's at UT and nobody really cared until a monkey bit a kid on Halloween night. Because, you know, when you're in the middle of a 4-game losing streak or a 3-game losing streak at the time, I think Sark actually said, somebody get your pet monkey to bite a kid so they'll quit talking about our crappy Longhorn team, right? So I tried to change my fantasy team name to Pole Assassin because I think that's a great name, right?
Yeah.
ESPN won't let you. It's got banned words, which I'm guessing is assassin. And so then I tried Pole Assassin Monkey, and they wouldn't take that either.
Pole Monkey?
And that just completely changes the whole story. So I just went back to Team Bye Week. But I am very disappointed that Pole Assassin is a banned word on ESPN's fantasy football team names.
This has been the most depressing fantasy year I've had in probably a decade. Normally, I'm first, second, or third every year. Snake draft, auction league, every year. But this year, man, I think the best record I have. I think I'm 4-5 in two leagues: the Listener League and in the ESPN San Antonio Sports Star League. I'm looking at my lineup right now. I'm favored by 16 points against Joe Reinagle. I'm gonna lose. It has been that week. You know, Josh Allen is my quarterback. What a disappointment. McCaffrey getting hurt. And not only I had to drop players like you, not because I wanted to get rid of them. It's because didn't have enough IR spots. I had like 4 players on the IR. And then players that I have on the roster, like Tyler Lockett, are affected by those who are hurt. So it's been a terrible season for all of my leagues.
I get it. I mean, I've got Patrick Mahomes as my quarterback. On my IR that I still have include Kareem Hunt, Michael Gallup, and Chris Carson. I mean, this week, the projected score between Team Bye Week and Rock the Mic OG RJ Ochoa is 126-79, and it won't be that close. I mean, I don't even check this league anymore. Now, my other league, like I said, I'm right behind Rob Thompson, and I've got a head-to-head win, but he has scored more points. But he and I have the best records. He currently sits in first place.
On top of I feel blessed to be 4-5 and have an outside shot of making the playoffs because I have the second worst points against in the entire league. Rob Thompson's Mambo Kings are the worst right now when it comes to that. But
and the crazy thing is, like, long ago, I was willing to give up like everybody on my team just for a decent trade offer. But the only guy that offers me any trades is Brandon Medina. And Brandon Medina will be like, hey, I want Patrick Mahomes and DeAndre Hopkins and Hunter Henry, and I will give you Cooper Rush. Just on principle, I won't do that.
Now, I mean, come on. You did try to trade him Henry Ruggs. You tried. You tried like 6 hours after the crash. So I kind of
6 hours.
I kind of respect
I tried
that.
within 10 minutes of the breaking
He
news.
earned that trade.
Welcome back to halftime. We go till 2:00. It's a big night.
Hold on. Breaking news first off.
Yeah.
This is breaking
Which
news
kind of
from San
Bronco do
Antonio
you want?
Sports Star.
Oh, which kind of Bronco do I want? There are like 6 different varieties, so it's the second best one. So whichever
Well, I don't
one
know what that is. If you want the, according to a text message right now from April Lancira, a Sport is easy. The big boy, you can order one and get in line for 2023 or 2024.
Wow. So,
or actually, they have a demo one that isn't spoken for yet that will be available in March or April.
I will be.
Let me know what you want. And
I will be there. My wife wants a black on black, but either way, I'll take what I can get.
I don't know that you're going to be able to be picky right now.
Yeah, I like that.
If that's what you really want.
That's why I enjoy talking to you, Minix. You know people. You know people who know people who know people. Do you know anybody in the college football playoff committee? Because we might need a little bit of help when it comes to that. The UTSA Roadrunners, 9-0, ranked 15th on the Associated Press poll, might be on the outside looking in tonight when the college football playoff committee releases their second rankings. And I'm reading articles from like The Athletic who say that this is kind of devastating in the sense that UTSA football should be getting more recognition, more respect. I mean, so much so that they mentioned that in 2014, Marshall had to wait till week 11. So, okay, they had to go 11-0 to make the top 25. The year after that, Toledo waited till week 7. Houston had to go 8-0, and then Western Michigan in 2016 had to go 8-0. But ever since then, there has not been a group of 5 undefeated at 7-0 or better to be in the running for this top 25.
Now here's the thing. Michael Jimenez, slow driver, patient driver, doesn't mind getting stopped at red lights.
Nah.
You're going to get there when you get there. Don't get your panties in a wad over this. This ranking doesn't matter. UTSA is not getting into the playoff. They don't want UTSA in the playoff. Hell, look at Cincinnati, where they are in the rankings and where they are in the playoff rankings. It's the big boy playoff that they really don't want you in. You play in Conference USA, right? They don't want to invite you to the playoff party, especially with the current playoff format of 4 teams. When it expands out, maybe that changes. But the ranking to pay attention to is the Associated Press rankings. That's the one that matters. The getting ranked by the playoff committee, it's fun to complain about something when you don't get there. You just want to see your name as a part of that group, and I understand there's pride and there's respect and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, it doesn't matter. Focus on what does. And this is why the AP ranking is so important. The New Year's 6 bowl games are going to take the highest ranked conference champion from the group of 5. And one of those teams will get to go play in a Big Boy New Year's Day Bowl. And this year, it looks like it's going to be the Fiesta Bowl. And that is a realistic opportunity for UTSA. And they're ranked number 15 right now in the AP poll. That is the one that matters most for UTSA when it comes to something that is tangible. Right now, getting ranked in the playoff means they get to put up a pretty cool little graphic and tweet it out. And you get to say, in the playoff poll, UTSA is ranked 20 whatever. And that is why there is such a difference between the AP poll and the coaches poll and the playoff poll, because you got a committee that is looking at the group of the Power Fives and trying to figure out the best teams that are not only the best teams, but what are going to be the best matchups for television.
Okay.
And generate the most revenue.
I don't care if it says USTA on it, as long as the Roadrunner logo is there at number 25 or 24. There's something about respect when it comes to that. Now, as far as UTSA having a Fiesta Bowl possibility, that's absolutely crazy how they could go Fiesta Bowl top end, low end is probably like the New Orleans Bowl, Independence Bowl.
If they go with the Conference USA affiliated bowls, you're going to be looking at some of those. But when you look at the big bowls, so you got the New Year's Six, right? Which are the Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and the Peach Bowl. And I believe the Cotton Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and one other one doesn't have conference affiliations. And that is where UTSA can sneak in to one of those. And I've got my daughter's apartment in Phoenix, so I've got a place to stay already in Phoenix. So I'm really shooting and hoping for the Fiesta Bowl. But that is the one that matters. And where they're ranked in that top 25, and do they win their conference championship? So when you look at the other, the American Conference USA, MAC, Mountain West, Sun Belt, you look at those group of 5 schools, and you want to be the highest ranked conference champion from that.
We need Cincinnati to lose. Right now, UTSA is in second when it comes to that.
But Cincinnati, because of where they are in the playoffs, they're probably already looking at a big boy bowl game. So I think UTSA still has a shot, especially if Cincinnati keeps winning. There's going to be some other cannibalism. They might kick their way into the playoff when it's all said and done.
I thought if Cincinnati makes the playoff, that it satisfies the group of 5 for the big bowls.
Again, it's bowl committee stuff. People much smarter than you and me are going to figure that out. But at least that is tangible right now for UTSA to get there. Where Cincinnati, I mean, my goodness, Cincinnati almost lost to Navy. They didn't play well against Tulsa. They look like they're a team that could get upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's, but again, UTSA, no matter what they do, they could beat Southern Miss 57-0 on Saturday. And Southern Miss is 1-8. They might. And then you got UAB after that and all the other stuff, right? You've got all of that. No matter what UTSA does, they're not going to get invited to the big boy playoff.
Now, one of the things that I noticed.
Don't lose sleep over not being ranked tonight if they aren't ranked tonight, because ultimately it doesn't matter. It doesn't. The AP poll and keeping that ability alive, that potential alive to play in a New Year's Six Bowl, that is still very much on the table.
I went through every single ballot from the AP poll, every single one. There were 63 of them. And I noticed that UTSA is ranked in 62 of the 63. There's one guy that has refused to put UTSA on there. There's a few who have UTSA ranked as high as 11th. But there were a lot of them in that 20 to 24 range where UTSA keeps winning. They can get more points, more poll points, and advance a little bit further up there. I thought that 15 was the highest that they could go. Initially, 2 weeks ago, you said, I talked about it. I said, I don't see them going beyond 15, but now if they win out, I can see them top 12. I think 12 is probably the ceiling.
Again, if they win out, I'm not sure where the ceiling is, because in the AP poll, unlike the playoff, where you could have teams with a loss ahead of you, if teams lose, they drop. You win, they're generally not going to penalize you. If you win and somebody loses, you're gonna take the next step up the rung. But there is a realistic standpoint that UTSA fans have to understand, and that is the Conference USA where they rank amongst all the programs out there. And quite frankly, as great as UTSA's record is at 9-0, their strength of schedule is down around 126 out of 130.
It depends which strength of schedule you're looking at. I've seen it as high as 102. I've seen it as 126. Depends on which way that you're looking at it.
So some guy in San Jose that doesn't give them a lot of credit, who doesn't even know who they are, hard to get mad at that guy, because if I had a vote and there was a small school in, Oregon, I probably wouldn't put him on my ballot.
Either way, we got to pack the dome. The game is Saturday against Southern Miss at 2:30, Alamo Dome. I'm setting the over-under at 30,000. I want to see more than 30,000 because when the season started, it was 2 games at 16, then it went to 20, then it went to 26. Let's see if we can get it to 30,000. Here's Pledger with some headlines, the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Sources, 76ers Ben Simmons changes course, meets with team recommended mental health clinician. After initial resistance, the 76ers All-Star guard has met with team-recommended medical specialists to discuss his mental health. As of Monday, sources told ESPN, the Sixers have begun to fine Simmons for failing to live up to the obligations of his contract after they found him to be uncooperative about partnering with them on his mental health and taking steps needed to work together towards an eventual return to play. The 76ers have reinstated a series of fines on Simmons as of late last week, including $360,000 for missing Thursday's game against Detroit, and continued to express frustration that Simmons had fallen short of providing basic information surrounding those meetings with his mental health specialist provided by the National Basketball Players Association, according to sources.
Of course, man. It's all fun and games until you start missing paychecks, right? Of course he's now going to be following some rules and seeing certain doctors. Nothing hit the checking account. So I don't buy anything that Simmons says, man. I'm not a big believer. This reeks of Kawhi Leonard. This reeks of just trying to manipulate a situation. I don't buy it, but I'm glad he's at least jumping through hoops.
What I hate about this whole thing is I feel like we have come so far in our country in recognizing mental health, and then he uses that as like the last card that he had in his stack to try to get what he wants. And I think that diminishes people's belief in, now you're playing the mental health card, trying to get what you want. If he would have done that earlier in the summer, maybe differently. I just don't like the fact that all the progress we've made with recognizing the seriousness of mental health, that he's playing that card right now. And I'm glad, and the Sixers are calling his bluff too, because that's why they're saying, well, you got to go see our guy, or we're not gonna pay you.
Headline 1.
Texas Longhorns wideout Joshua Moore has left the team and entered the transfer portal. Moore no longer with the team, according to multiple reports, as Steve Sarkisian and Moore got into a heated confrontation that also involved more of a coaching staff Wednesday than practice. What's going on the 40 acres, guys?
What's going on is that team is becoming more and more relevant as time goes on. I don't see why star players would want to go to UT anymore. We talk about this all the time. They are recruiting 17 and 18-year-old kids, man. 17 and 18-year-old kids. UT has not been a relevant program since they were, 2 or 3 years old? So, of course, there's a lot going on. And every coach they bring on, as Rob Thompson pointed out, seems to start 4 and 5. This is not a football school anymore. They are no longer Big Brother. Why treat them that way?
Says the LSU guy. You're so full of crap. They are still so relevant. It's not even funny. They've got the facilities, and you're right. They don't have the
facilities don't win games.
But it attracts recruits. They are still a national brand. They're still Big Brother, although A&M right now is running this state.
Headline 0.
With Russell Wilson returning to action this weekend, Pete Carroll says and teased that the Seahawks have interest in Odell Beckham Jr., saying in his press conference, "You'll see," when asked if they claim him on waivers today. If the Seahawks add Beckham along with Wilson, does that change their outlook moving forward this season?
It does not. They don't have a running game. And watching them play this year has been absolutely boring with or without Wilson. They don't move the ball very well. I don't see how it's going to fix anything that they've got going on over there. If they can't get the ball to Tyler Lockett of all people, what's OBJ going to do for them?
Well, or DK Metcalf, or I mean, you just look at it. I mean, of all the teams that I think Odell and obviously Tom Brady comes into play, New England could be there, but I could see Vegas adding them because they lost Ruggs. And I wouldn't be surprised to see if the Rams made a play for them. You look at all the teams with bad records, why would they want to bring them in at this point and eat that money?
That's the 411 and a 210.
You know, the Spurs have been playing kind of so-so ball this year. I know they're 3-7, but they've done well against good teams. They went on the road, won in Milwaukee. They went toe-to-toe with Milwaukee a second time, almost beat Dallas twice, lost both games. There's a lot going on where Spurs fans can be pessimistic about. But one thing that is optimistic about the Spurs this year is the play of Dejounte Murray. I was not a believer that he had a leap in him, but apparently he does. Now this year, he's averaging 18 points, more than 8 assists, more than 8 rebounds, and a little bit more than 2 steals per game. So yesterday I was on ESPN looking at the power rankings and taking a look at, where they put the Spurs. And of course, they put the Spurs at 25th out of 32 teams, right? But they says, quote, Dejounte Murray has continued his strong start. The statistics of 18-8, 8-2 would put him in rarefied air if he was able to maintain them throughout the season. Only 2 players, have hit that mark since steals became an NBA stat in 1973. Those 2 players are Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson.
Whew.
Minix, your thoughts?
Woo, DJ in there with MJ. He has taken over the alpha dog role. I really thought at the beginning of the season that this was going to be Keldon Johnson's team.
Yeah.
And they were going to build around Keldon Johnson. And he's been somewhat of a disappointment through the first 10 games of this season. We do a thing on the Blitz because I'm not a morals victory guy, but I'm not looking at wins and losses when I know this team is going to be bad. We call it the black and silver linings. Look for the victories within the game. And Dejounte has been right up there with incredible play, steady play, consistent play. I know it against the Lakers. He took the game winner and lost, and seemed like Spurs Twitter was going nuts. Oh, I don't want that guy taking the shot. I do. Did you see the shot? It organically came to him. He got the ball, and he just went up with it. No hesitation. And when you're trying to take a game winner, that's half the battle. Do you have the stones to take that shot? And Dejounte does. What he does defensively. And I know it's the old Tim Duncan days, but his corporate knowledge is certainly there. I mean, when you think about tradable assets, he's probably the best one that the Spurs have. Although I don't know if the Spurs would actually move him right now because he is their best player on this team. I thought it was going to be Keldon. It is not. It is Dejounte Murray.
I saw him described the other day, Dejounte Murray, as a good man's Russell Westbrook. Because Russell Westbrook averages
what does
triple.
That mean?
Well, I mean, Westbrook
What's
averages
a good man's?
Well, you've heard of a poor man's, right? A poor man's is just like a cheap copy of something. But this is a good copy in the sense that Westbrook over the years has averaged triple doubles, but he's done so shooting 39-40% for the year, missing a lot of shots and just being very inefficient. He's just a stat monster. But what Dejounte is doing is in the game itself, he's not going after cheap stats or anything like that. He's getting those 8 rebounds per game because he's in the lane getting those boards. He's getting those 8 assists because he's moving the ball around. He's getting his points because his shooting percentage is up. He has improved his game. I was on Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia from Ken's 5, and we were talking about this the other day. And I mentioned that the leap that Dejounte has done has come at the expense of Derek White. And Derek White, to me, has no role in the starting lineup right now when Dejounte Murray has the ball that much in his hands. Derek White looks lost out there. He's not hitting his spots with purpose. He seems to be just wandering out there. I don't like what Derek White's doing out there. I still think White's a good player. I know in the past he's been an 18-5-5 kind of guy, but he belongs on the bench, and I want Vassell starting.
Well, I don't know that Vassell is going to start right away, although I might have argued with you about that the other day. But the overnight that Derek had the other night, and Pop's comment afterwards, where Greg Popovich said Derek's having a tough time in a lot of ways, and they need him. They need him to be a good player every night. And when you hear that from Greg Popovich, who is very calculated with everything that he says to the media, there's something in between the ears right now with Derek White, and it might be the adjustment of playing with Dejounte without a DeMar DeRozan there. I don't know that I'm ready to move Derek White to the bench because he's not offering you anything as a starter. So what is he really going to offer you as a second unit player? I mean, that's why I like Devin coming off the bench because he gives you that spark. They've got to figure out a way to get Derek White going, get him involved early and get him comfortable because you're right. He does look lost out there, and he's been one of the more consistent players. Last year with all the injuries and COVID and everything that Derek White went through, I look at that as a wash. Prior to that, he looked like that up-and-coming developing guy that was going to be something. This year, he's not taking a step back. It feels like 3 steps back, right. But it's all confidence right now because he is still at least putting up the shots. He's putting up the shots, and eventually they're going to go in. That's what shooters have to do. Sure. Shoot themselves out of some sort of slump.
I'm not sure, man. He was 0 for 10 in the last game. He missed everything. Wide open threes. He missed wide open mid-range jumpers, layups.
But he still took 10 shots.
He was 0 for 10. And he's so shooting 38%. He's shooting 38% right now, right? The year before, he was at 41. The year before that, he was at 44. The year before that, he was at 48. This is a trend line where his shooting percentage is going down. And I still think he's a good player because defensively he can bring it. The problem is that offensively, Dejounte Murray has so much use of the ball. The ball is going through his hands, and Derek White is not that prototypical shooting guard. I wanted to be where he's on the floor when Dejounte is not. I only want them on the court together maybe 5 or 6 minutes. If Dejounte is going to play 30 minutes, then Derek plays the other 12 or the other 18 rather.
Oh, yeah, math is hard. When you look at the start, who would be your ideal starting 5 right now?
If they were trying to win, okay. If they're trying to win,
I mean, therein lies part of the problem. Are they really trying to win?
The best 5 players on that team are Dejounte Murray, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson. If they were trying to win, probably Thad. And then I would probably say Jakob. That's the best lineup that they could field.
All right,
that's a 30-win team right there.
But until Pirtle is back, I mean, when you look at that as your starting 5, that bench unit is going to offer you what? And that's part of Pop and coming up with the starting lineup. That's why Manu came off the bench all those years.
We don't need to be 12 deep. We just need to be 7 deep, 8 deep.
But quite frankly, it's who's starting, but who's in the game in the fourth quarter of those closeout situations.
The Spurs,
and the Spurs have been in enough closeout situations, tight games early, that I look at the lineups and I'm thinking they're not really trying to win.
The Spurs' 4th or 5th best player played against the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. That would be Josh Primo. Bring him up, baby. Bring him up.
Stop.
This is halftime. We go till 2:00. When we come back, fellas, we need some recommendations on Facebook Live, on Twitter. Just give us some recommendations because I need a guy's trip. I want to know where Minnick says I should go. Give me some recommendations. This is halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Cowboys football is not a gentle game. Cowboys football is not soft. Cowboys football is war. Just don't use that helmet as a weapon. When you want total Cowboys football coverage, get it here on the home of the Dallas Cowboys radio network. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID, but one thing is for sure. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I love being able to share with our family who's listening how much we all love State Farm Insurance. With surprisingly great rates, State Farm has saved us money with our car and home insurance.
I mean, you're my wife. You know how much I love a great deal. So, of course, I'm going to love the great rates and great service at State Farm. It's good for my wallet and for my family.
State Farm meets my needs. Plus, I get to control how and what I want for my budget. And I do it all from their award-winning mobile app.
Surprisingly great rates. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom. Your source to local news and sports in San Antonio begins with the San Antonio Express News. We've collected, written, and shown the stories that matter most to San Antonio. Look no further than the San Antonio Express News to continue to provide information and strength to the community. Whether it's on the field or on a court, we provide the ground local coverage. Go to expressnews.com for the most up-to-date high school and college sports coverage. Subscribe today at expressnews.com.
Paid for by the Parkinson's Foundation. Each year, 60,000 Americans are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, yet many don't know where to turn for information to help manage their new normal. A new campaign from the Parkinson's Foundation wants to change that. Parkinson's Foundation President and CEO John Lair.
For some, a Parkinson's diagnosis comes as a relief, an explanation for previously unexplained symptoms. Others may be stunned, struggling with what the future may look like. As you begin processing your emotions, it's important to know you are not alone. The Parkinson's Foundation created the program Newly Diagnosed, Building a Better Life with Parkinson's to get important information into the hands of people with Parkinson's. The foundation offers many resources, including a free kit with information to help you get started on your Parkinson's journey.
The Parkinson's Foundation is working hard to close the gap between a Parkinson's diagnosis and the essential resources that can inspire and support people new to the disease. If you or a loved one has Parkinson's, please visit parkinson.org for more information.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors. Rated #1 for reliability in the under 100 horsepower category, they're designed for easy operation and feature performance-matched attachments. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for 84 months, plus save up to $1,400. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
It's halftime with Rob Thompson and Carl Schoening on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Football season's back, and so is San Antonio Sports Star's Pro Football Pick'em, brought to you by Pinkerton's Barbecue. Go to sasportstar.com and pick the winner to each week's slate of NFL games for a chance to win weekly gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue and Mellow Mushroom. Sign up on sasportstar.com. Again, brought to you by Pinkerton's Barbecue. Welcome back to halftime on San Antonio Sports Star. My name's Michael Jimenez, joined by Jason Minix. Jason, you know, my wife convinced me yesterday that it was time for a girls trip, and I'm very, very supportive of that. Right? She goes with her friends Jessica, Veronica, a couple of friends. They go from place to place. Last year they went to Atlanta. Now they're going to Dallas. They go from place to place, and I usually have a guys trip. Okay, so I have two questions for you. I met up with two of my friends from Houston who went with me to Baton Rouge a couple of months ago so that I can go visit my daughter. They helped me with driving. We went to the LSU game. We went to the Saints game the following day. My wife has told me that counts as my guy's trip. Was that a guy's trip if I had my daughter with me and the whole point was to see her?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Thank you.
Did you take your daughter to the Giants game as well?
I did.
And LSU lost that weekend. The Giants beat the Saints that weekend. And you had your daughter with you, which tells me you probably drank a little bit less than you would have if she was not there.
I did tailgate with her. So yes, we did a little bit of drinking, but it wasn't crazy.
But not what you would normally do.
No, not at all. Not even close.
And you didn't do Bourbon Street the way you normally would do Bourbon
Didn't
Street.
do it at all.
Right.
Literally, we spent most of the time in the car. That was not a guy's trip.
Well, I mean, I understand where your wife is coming from, but
I think she's joking, but still.
I think you have the argument there that if your relationship is set up to where you get a guy's trip every year and she gets a girl's trip every year, I think the underlying factor here is that means no family members, no kids, no wife. I'm going with friends, not family. And so once you put family in there, it becomes a family trip with friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not a guy trip. See, I think it's all in how you properly word the sentence to your wife while trying to win the argument that does not count as your guy trip.
I think I'm tired of gambling trips. Whenever my friends and I go out, we go to Vegas.
Well,
we go to Lake Charles. We go to different places like that. I think I'm done with that. I like visiting New Orleans. I love the whole vibe there and the food and the touring. That's fun. I go there with my wife a lot. We've gone about 3 times in the last, year or so. So I like New Orleans. I like going to New York. But with my friends, they always want to go to Vegas. They always want to do that. And I'm done. Where else can I go?
Nashville, baby. Nashville has become my favorite city to travel to. In fact, I need to personally study this because I haven't been to New Orleans post-COVID, but I've been to Nashville twice. And Nashville is a lot of fun. You got great food. It's barbecue. And I love the food in New Orleans. Broadway Street in Nashville is kind of like Bourbon Street, but it smells better. It's a little bit cleaner, and there's live music everywhere, and it's an easy flight on Southwest. I would say go to Nashville. And in fact, they call it Nash Vegas for a reason.
Nice. Now, a friend of the show, Jill Jelnick from Yolo, Texas. She was also one of our correspondents. She's now in Nashville at the Fox station over there. Very cool.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a Nashville story? I haven't been to Nashville in about 20 years. And I enjoyed it the first time I was there. I was there probably...
It's not the same.
15, 16 years ago. Yeah, I know it's not the same. But I do have a story about Nashville. Back in the day, I was a bit of a barfly. I'm kind of introverted now. The only new friends I've made in the last 2 years have been you and Pledger. Yeah. So the thing is that back then I was extremely extroverted. I was very much like James Pledger back then. And I went to a bar over there in Nashville and we were at the Opry and I'm having a great time by myself. I was there on a business trip. And at the end of the day, my friends from work were like, "Where are you?" And I'm telling them, "Oh, I'm in this room, whatever." Because I went from partying at a bar to partying upstairs, someone's room. Okay. It was a big room. Think like The Hangover. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And my friend walks in and goes, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I don't know. I just met some guys at the bar. All these people are all really nice." Turns out I was in a room full of country music stars. And I had no idea because unless they were named George, Garth, Reba, or Shania, I wasn't going to know who they were. So in the room was like Brooks and Dunn. There was a band called Lone Star that was there. Pat Green, who's from San Antonio, was there. There was a bunch of people in there kind of just partying it up. And they accepted me because I didn't know who they were.
When they probably love that.
Yeah, I wasn't like all fanboy, like, "Oh my God, will you sign this? Can I take a pic?" Well, cell phone cameras didn't exist back then. But Nashville seems like fun. What I want to do, and I've told this to some friends before, I'm trying to convince them, and it does include Nashville. It's going in May to do Nashville, like a Jim Beam type of distillery thing, and then the Kentucky Derby, which is only about an hour and a half away.
You know, the thing is, there's bourbon distilleries all over there, right? So it doesn't have to be, you know, it could be anything. But if you're going in May, I highly recommend Memphis in May, which is incredible.
I've been there once before, but I was really young.
You've got all the concerts going on there right along the river. I saw Foo Fighters there. It was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the COVID. And then Memphis in May is going on, the barbecue cook-off. It's incredible. And of course, eating in Memphis is fantastic. You could do Beale Street in Memphis or Broadway in Nashville. Either one, you're not going to go wrong. You're not going to go wrong. And you're right, the Kentucky Derby, that's just a short drive away. In fact, you probably have to stay somewhere up there unless you know somebody that has a horse. You can get a room down there for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, I want to get all dressed up. You know, I want to wear a suit, do that Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski thing, you know, drink some mint juleps, because I love racing. I had 2 horses back in the day over at Retama Park. I was a 50% owner.
Want to gamble anymore.
That's
and you know
different, man. I don't want to sit at a blackjack table.
Great is there's casinos not far from Nashville.
I'll take
Just
it.
saying.
I'll take it, man. Hey, any more recommendations out there? Send them to me on Twitter. I'm at Mike ESPN SA. This is halftime on San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to put a bow on the show, and Pledger's reminding me that we need to go to Vegas. I will accept that for the NFL draft because I want to see the guys on the barges as they're getting drafted.
Tell your wife you're going to Des Moines.
This is halftime. We'll be right back on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM.
The Dallas Cowboys, the Atlanta Falcons. This one will be a pad pounder. Get the call live Sunday at noon. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewok Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Dallas Mavericks had easy pickings last night as they hosted and defeated the last-place New Orleans Pelicans 108-92. Luka Doncic had a game-high 25 points with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. University of Texas football had wide receiver Joshua Moore leave the program for the transfer portal yesterday. Moore had appeared in all 9 games this season with 5 starts. Moore finishes his season with 24 catches for 265 yards and 3 touchdowns. And UTSA basketball is back tonight with a doubleheader at the historic Convocation Center. The women's team tips off against Stephen F. Austin at 5, and the men host Trinity following that game, scheduled for 7:30. Sports Center has been brought to you by Alamo Water Softeners. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
For over 2 centuries, Jim Beam has been bringing people together. Now you can bring them wherever you go with friends and family. Introducing Jim Beam Highballs to go, refreshing and ready for sharing. Their classic highball and Beam and Ginger Highball are made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. They're a new take on a tradition, 7 generations in the making. Find Jim Beam Highballs to go at a store near you. Jim Beam Classic Highball made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, natural flavors, and seltzer water. 5% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2020, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
Do you love your garage? Can you get your cars and the kids' bikes in? Jason Minix here for Garagenization, your garage storage solution. With a variety of shelving, overhead racks, slat walls, and closed cabinet options, Garagenization can make your garage functional for the entire family. Call 210-664-4494 and have them give you a free customized plan for your family's needs. For over a decade, Garagenization has helped people love their garage. Learn more online at GarageOrganizationSanAntonio.com.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom, a single platform for video, phone, chat, and conference rooms. Zoom enables real-time collaboration no matter where your teams are. Global enterprises trust the easy-to-use, reliable, and secure Zoom platform to power high-performance teams. Empower your workforce with Zoom. Save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Okay. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. At CDW, we get modern servers need to be flexible, scalable, and predictable. I predicted you'd say that. Okay, what would I say next? Probably something about server security. Impressive and freaky. CDW can implement secure Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Gen 10 servers that improve speed and performance while reducing costs. See, predictable. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. I predict a web address. CDW.com/HPE. I'm in your mind, man.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
1911 Cigars is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas, providing quality, affordable cigars in a professional, inviting environment with a large covered patio with TVs. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the avid cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. 1911 Cigars at 207 South Main Street in Cibolo. Online at 1911cigars.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
There's no other game like college football. And no one covers it better. It's game day every day for us. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hi, this is Paul Feinbaum, and you're listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio Sports Star is under the Friday Night Lights for the high school game of the week, powered by Hill Electric. It's playoff time on Friday as Jason Minix and Kevin Brock have the call. The Reagan Rattlers against the East Central Hornets. Pregame is at 6:30 from the GPS of Texas broadcast booth. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. You can keep up with other scores at 210varsity.com, sponsored by the Express News. Also sponsored by TSAOG Orthopedics, Smoky Bows Barbecue, Stevens Roofing, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and Central Builders, Inc. Welcome back to halftime here on San Antonio Sports Star. Been a fun 2 hours. Real quick, Minix, I was just watching a replay of that Yokic hit on Morris from a different angle. I had not seen it from underneath the basket. That was wicked. I had only seen it from like the viewpoint of like the scores table, but not from under the basket. That dude's going to be suspended for at least 2 or 3 games.
At least 2. And again, you hit the guy from behind. It reminded me of the only time in my life that I truly got my ass kicked, and it was at a Philadelphia Eagles game many, many years ago, 1992. And I was in the Navy at the time, and we were Cowboys, Eagles, and we were in the upper deck of the old Vet Stadium. And I'm walking back. I got a beer in each hand, and I got hit from behind and looked just like Morris, crashing to the ground, and then 4 dudes just stomped and kicked the crap out of me, and then we ended up in the jail in the bottom of the vet, and I got kicked out of the game. I did nothing.
Man, I only got my ass kicked one time. That was in 7th grade, but I took out one guy before I got obliterated. So good times. It was 1-on-1. I won, and then his friend showed up. Hey, real quick, you mentioned April and Sarah reached out to you. Where do I go for this ride? We have 1 minute left in the show, but where do I go to see April and Sarah's inventory here?
Somebody's going to call you, but since you want a Ford Bronco, go to the Ancira Ford store down in Floresville.
Very cool, man. Hey, who do you got going on the Blitz today at 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock today from 4 to 7. We've got a lot to get into. We'll talk Cowboys with the great Shireen Williams. She'll join us at 5:30. Doug Gottlieb will join us at 5. And I'll do everything I can to get to 7 o'clock because I'm going to Worst Fest tonight.
Very cool, man. Hey, hope that plumbing thing works out for you.
Plumber's on the way.
I know. Allegedly from 2 to 4, right? So there you go. Quarter Moon, though, man, they do a good job. They do a very good job. But Minix, thank you for playing with me. Hopefully you'll be back next Tuesday. This has been Halftime. I'll be back tomorrow. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, on the go at sasportstar.com.
Rock the Mic moves into the voting phase. 12 finalists, live auditions, and only one 2021 Rock the Mic winner.
Hi, this is Carolina Teague, the Rock the Mic 2 winner.
Vote for your favorite Rock the Mic champ now at SA Sports.